What's going on? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. Today we're going to be going over the weekend review of the markets. And what a week we had. It started off so bullish and then it got really weird after Juneteenth. And then the end of the day, at the end of the week, I'm still bullish. I still, it's a little bit of a choppier market. NVDA behaved a little weird, but overall, I think we're still looking good. Now, let's dive into the SPY. This is SPX. My SPY is much more cluttered, and I do apologize for all the indicators, but I will walk you through everything I'm seeing. This is a weekly chart of the S&P 500, and as you can see, we closed above the previous week, and we closed above this Fibonacci line right here. And after this dip, we managed to make our way over this Fibonacci fan from back here. Now let me back this up. So this dates all the way back to the bottom of the COVID crash. All right. So these lines, you'll notice this line right here caught the bottom of the 2022 downturn and served as a trend line until we were able to pop back up. And then once we were able to cross over the highs of 2021, notice how it pushed over and confirmed over. So at least at the moment, it feels like we are confirmed over this next line, which means that we are shooting for this line, and this line should serve as support. Now, I do have a Fibonacci extension from the top of 2021 to the bottom of 2022 with a target of 5,600 roughly, which is, I believe, the next major inflection point for the S&P 500. Now, let's move into this area. Oh God, hold on. This area right here. So we had a bit of a slump, a nice good pullback, and we recovered. And now, I would call this a pretty major, I wouldn't call that a speed bump. That was a retracement. It was quite a pullback. We have gotten over it. And so this level right here, this 5,300 level, I would argue is pretty strong support. And this line right here, this trend line, is the support level I'm looking at going forward. Now, some other things that you will see on here, you'll see this green line right here, this pinkish red line right here, this red line right here, and the cloud. This is the Ichimoku. It's a Japanese indicator. I actually really like it for day trading. In general, the rules of the Ichimoku are once the cloud becomes good, see how the blue line crossed over this yellow line, price gets over the Tenkan-sen, which is green, and the Kijun-sen, which is pinkish, and the Chiku span, which is this red one, is above price. That's a green indicator. So you can see here we got over, and once the Tenkan-sen crossed over the Tenkan or the Kijun-sen, once the green crossed over the pink, that's a buy signal. Now, you could have been a little riskier, got in right here, and you wouldn't have been faulted because you had a couple other indicators. See, down here is the MACD, which is the moving average crossover. It got bullish right here. This is where it confirmed, but you could see it turning over. You could have, maybe bought right here once it crossed over, confirmed over, established support on the Kijun-sen, and then maybe drawn your stop loss like down here. Anyways, when I'm looking at the weekly charts, I'm not really day trading. This is an investor focused chart. Now let's take a look at the daily. Daily, we're still over Kijun-sen. Tenkan-sen is under Kijun-sen. Cloud looks good. Chikou span's overpriced. We are still in an uptrend. Just because we had a bearish engulfing right here and this candle right here doesn't mean the uptrend is over, okay? Now, this candle did not close under the bearish engulfing. So I would still be holding. Now, right here, this bearish engulfing, you wouldn't have been wrong to reduce position right there, because that means that we're likely going lower. And what would make a lot of sense to me is if we saw this move down more. And once this Tenkan-sen gets up to this Fibonacci line right here, I would not be surprised if price came down, established that it is support, and then bounced up for the next leg up. And so I am looking forward to next week. I think there's going to probably be some buying opportunities as, you know, the S&P 500 gets to this line right here. I believe we're still in an uptrend. Now let's take a look at some other. Let's look at NVIDIA. That's what everybody wants to talk about. So NVIDIA looking a little hairy. So we did have this top bullish engulfing. We fell under the Fibonacci line. We fell under the Tenkan-sen, and we closed under this Fibonacci line right here. And this Fibonacci is drawn from the bottom of the, you know, the big run to the top. So this is a key level right here. These red lines right here are from a further back. So this is a 500% line. So this whole area right here is very important. Now let's zoom back in here. Now let's go to the weekly real quick. I just want to see, you know, how are we looking on the weekly? Weekly, yeah, a little scary. A little scary. Am I still bullish on NVIDIA? I would not be surprised to see. I would not be surprised to see it come down more next week. Overall, I think that you're seeing other stocks, though, like Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, they are looking stronger. And so I think the S&P 500 doesn't need NVIDIA in order to keep moving higher. However, NVIDIA at the moment is looking a little shaky. Now, if next week we can confirm back above this Fibonacci line right here, that would be very important. However, we may experience some chop, and I would not be surprised if we have some downturn. It might need to touch the Tenkan-sen. So it may take some time before this catches up and this moves to it. You might see some chop as it moves sideways and down a little bit before it goes to its next leg up. So we'll be keeping an eye on it. I'm not super bullish on NVIDIA at the moment. So if you haven't bought your shares yet, maybe hold off. This is not shouting buy at me. Let's take a look at, I want to look at Amazon, because Amazon has been in a holding pattern for a little while. It had a really good start to the year. It hit about 192, and then it plunked down. And we've seen it bounce pretty much between 173 and 192. However, it's moving up, in my opinion. It needs strength to get over 200. And you'll see here, this Fibonacci, I believe that's a Fibonacci line. That is not a Fibonacci line. Let's draw one. Let's draw a Fibonacci line and see. See if any of these add up. This one looks like What about this one? It's kind of hard on this chart, isn't it? How about this? That looks to be a little bit better. Okay. All right, so you can see here this Fibonacci line served as support during this uptrend, and I would like to see that continue. But we could be looking at September before it gets over. I don't think it's going to take that long. And actually, let me add a Fibonacci line right now. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to turn these gold so that we can see. Oh God. Okay, so it's fighting to get over and make this support, but it can't do it. Had to touch. Yeah, there we go. Okay, this is the correct Fibonacci fan. So it came down, it found support at that bottom, and now it, yeah, 200 is right here. I think it's coming soon, you guys. I feel good about it. It's been consolidating since April in this range, and it's been moving up. We got a close over Tankinson. Let's take a look at the MACD real quick. Look at this. See it curling? It sure is thinking about it. Sure is thinking about it. We're not overbought. We could see a pop on Amazon. I'm expecting it to happen before end of year, and when this thing moves, I mean, it's already moved. Let's just take a look how much it's moved in the past since year to date. So had you bought, let's say you bought right at the top, so like worst entry but beginning of the year, to today, we're already up 24% year to date. That's a strong move. So I mean, this thing can move fast, and once it breaks that resistance level, next up is 221. I mean, those are big moves, you guys. That's like potentially another 15-10% of upside before end of year. I mean, if it continues and it gets above this fan line, I mean, if it intersects with this other Fibonacci, we're looking at October to get to 220 if things go well. And I get nervous in the fall, you guys. I think that's when, world events and all that stuff get in the way of our little party that we have going on here. But that's for another video. Amazon, looking good. Looking good. Cloud is good. Kijinsen's way down here. Tankinson, it seems to... And it never closes. It closes under it once, and then it pops right back over it. So, and it's done that a few times, and I like it. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Looking strong. Looking strong. We got up over this 161. These are key levels, by the way, you guys. Now, I would not be surprised to see it come down, touch it. Maybe when Tankinson gets up there, it likes to come down and touch both. But it might not. I mean, look at down here. It crossed over this 100% line, and it just cruised up. So Microsoft looking good. It broke this 431, and now it wants to break 450. And let's do. Let's do a Fibonacci fan on this thing. Oh, we already did. So these red lines are them. So let's just turn those gold real quick. Look at that, right on time. So actually not right on time. It's a little late, so maybe it's making up for lost time. Right here. Oh God. Right here, we have an intersection. This high thing is, so next week, if we can see we got a lot of resistance. Maybe I don't know if I would be entering right now. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily looks strong as well. Tenkan-sen over Kijun-sen. Cloud is good. Yeah, Cloud is good. Chica span over price. We're trying to get to this right here. So this line and this Fibonacci line, they intersect like right over here. And it all kind of goes down right here. So next week is going to be, keep your eye on Microsoft. You know, if you're looking for a good entry, I don't think this is a bad entry. Because look at this. We had a couple bearish signs. This right here, 444. 445. That was the next base of support. 446, something like that. And we have, did this actually close over the top of that candle? Yes, we just barely closed over where this opened, but not over the top of this. So 450, that's the big boy. If we see, let's see here. Keep your eye on Microsoft, you guys. If you get a chance to, if this comes up, maybe it consolidates and then Tenkan-sen gets up there and it confirms and it pushes over, that would be a good entry. I don't know if I would be entering right now because we've had this really good upswing, and at some point you could see it come back down. Who knows, it could even come back down to touch this level right here. So, oh, but look at this volume candle. Good Lord. Okay, that's a lot of volume. Keep your eye on Microsoft, is all I'm going to say. I think Microsoft's going to push the S&P higher next week. Apple, another big one. Okay, look at this. Bear flag. Big red candle. Good God. There was a lot of volume at the end of the week this week, wasn't there? So, yeah, we had a big push. It tried to hit this right here. This Fibonacci fan came down. It's going to touch Tenkan-sen. But everything's looking like we're still in an uptrend. I don't mind this for an entry into Apple, because when it broke through this, I mean, it didn't break through that for nothing, is my guess. I don't think it broke through that for nothing. You may see it come down to retest some of this stuff right here, but we're still in an uptrend. We are still in an uptrend. You know, when you enter a position, like if this were to close under Tenkan-sen, according to the rules of the Ichimoku, you're supposed to reduce. But you can draw a stop loss only like a couple bucks below. You know, like when we were looking at Microsoft earlier, you know, it was much further from the Tenkan-sen. We're talking about like multiple percents of drop. This is a decent 207. I think it hit support right there. I mean, you might see the candle touch Tenkan-sen and then retest the 220. See if we can get above. I want to see it close above this line, you guys, because then we're on the next level. And we were in this part of the fan. We were in the even higher part of the fan years, you know, if you go way back. So things are looking good for Apple at the moment, I think. MACD looks a little bearish, not gonna lie. So we got a bit of a thing here. I'm gonna go a little bit more granular. I'm gonna go to the 4 hour, spread it out a little bit more. Oh yeah, we're in the cloud on the 4 hour. What I would like to see, personally, like if I didn't have a position, I would like to see it pop up out of the cloud. I would like to see the MACD cross over. And, you know, you might see it, you know, like obviously you want to see Chiku span get over price, and you want to see Tenkan-sen get back up over Kijun-sen. So that might happen after we get back up over 220. But I don't hate this. And notice this right here. This is the 50-day moving average right here. It's sitting right on it. So maybe it found support right here. All right, what else do I want to look at? What do you guys want to look at? Why don't you leave a comment below? What stock would you like to see me do a weekend review on? Costco. Costco the beast. Also sitting on the 50-day. Costco the beast. This thing just, everybody says it's overvalued, but then people keep paying for shares. You know what I'm saying? Now this 50-day moving average, here, I'm going to go back to the daily. So this is on the 4-hour. That's very interesting. I'm going to go to the daily. We have closed under Tenkinson. You would not be wrong to reduce your Costco position here because it could be coming down to 427. Now, my gut tells me, hopefully we don't have to do that, and hopefully we hit this Fibonacci line right here, and we stay over it. But I'm looking to hold support right there. Otherwise, you know, if it, I mean, how big of a drop is that? Let's take a look. It's a 2.5% drop. It's not a small amount. But if you're a long-term investor, let's take a look at the weekly. Shooting star candle. Oh boy. Shooting star candle, this is not good. It's an ugly candle, you guys. This is what tops look like. See, look at this inverted hammer right here. I think it's inverted hammer. After that, it kind of chopped until it found support, and then it popped back. And then, you know what? If you just held on, you would be even now. You would be up 8%, and that was from March. 8% in 3 months. You know, I'll take that all day long. So even if you entered right there and then you closed today, or maybe entered at the bottom, 16%, not bad. So Costco, keep your eye on that one. It looks like it might want to come back down and retest this level. I'm going to do some Fibonacci fans real quick on this. So this is a pretty good spot, I think. Aha! Take a look at this, you guys. So these Fibonacci fans, look at this. Boink! Ow! Okay, get back over to support. It's over. Does it want to stay over? So this is key support. Key support is right here. You know, if you don't have any Costco position and you want to enter into Costco, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea if we get like price action right here. You could buy there and then set your stop loss right underneath this guy right here. And that's not too risky of an entry. And if we're lucky and it holds up, then we get the move up. If we're unlucky, you get stopped out. It comes all the way down to Tenkinson, maybe right here, or somewhere in here, and then maybe you re-enter, try again. You know, we talk about it later. But as a long-term Costco investor, here's my thing with Costco. This thing is badass. It don't stop. It's good in every market, it seems like. So I'm holding. I'm long Costco for life. Speaking of for life, let's take a look at CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike with the doji. We also have a pretty ugly gap right here. Now, if we cross under this Fibonacci fan right here, oh, that's a trend line. I don't really like trend lines anymore. They don't, well, this one's really hard to do with a Fibonacci fan because it's had such a strange run up. We could try though right here. That looks about right. Let's turn these gold. All right, so these volume things need to come down. Jeez Louise. Why do I have two volume? Anyway. Fibonacci fan right here. So yeah, it's sitting right on the Fibonacci fan. We got a Fibonacci level right here. So it popped up over this Fibonacci fan and it's closed just a hair under it, maybe right on it. I would like to see it confirm over the top and get above this. I would not be entering a position here, and I would be watching to see if it closes under here. If it closes under like 265, we're looking for a gap fill down to maybe like 350. Yeah, this is just a trend line. I'm going to delete that. Might have gotten ahead of ourselves on this one, but at the same time, we had a big consolidation period. It popped, and who knows, man? We might. This 161.8 level is pretty critical. 423. This is where it wants to go. And if it follows along the fan and it takes its sweet time, it could be until December before it hits it there. I think it gets there much sooner. You know, I was telling you about world events. I think that we might see a cybersecurity incident. We've already seen this week car dealerships across the country got hit with a cyber attack. Seems like there's a new cyber attack every week. AT&T went down, all these outages. CrowdStrike is the fastest growing name in cybersecurity, and I don't see it going anywhere. I don't see it going bankrupt unless they can hack them. That would be crazy, but we're in huge trouble if that happens. Not just if we're stock owners, but like just industry in America is looking not so good if that happens. But anywho, what else do we want to look at? I don't really follow Tesla. Let's just take a look at Tesla. I'm not a Tesla investor. Here, I'm going to clear all these drawings. So I'm going to probably have the most, what's the word? Objective opinion on Tesla. Like, I'm not a crazy Tesla bull. I also think that it's probably going to do okay, you know. So let's just take a look at this up to here. Okay, let's take a look at this up to here. Yeah, just Tesla's not looking good, you guys. I'm gonna draw. Like, I'm not seeing any patterns. That's like the thing here. Let me do this. Okay, here's a pattern. Very interesting, you guys. So let's take a look at this. We came down, we hit the 78.6 level, found support at 61.8, got through the cloud, came back down into the cloud, came down, now we have support at 61.8. If I were to trade this doesn't seem like a very bad entry because we are over Tenkan-sen. And by the way, this just violates all the rules of Ichimoku. Like, you shouldn't. It's under the cloud. Kijinsen's over Tenkan-sen. Chikuspan is underpriced. Like, if you're trying to buy the dip and you're not trying to day trade this thing or even week trade this thing, you could enter right here and cross your fingers. But I would like to see some better momentum. We did have a crossover right here, so this thing is moving up. Look, we're not really in an official uptrend, I wouldn't say, but you know, it doesn't look all bad. And the distance between where it is right now and if it crossed under and it confirmed under and you had to sell, yeah, that's like a 7% drop, you guys, if we were to get under this again. So yeah, I just don't like this as an entry for Tesla. You know, if you're like a cult member of Tesla, you probably already own 1,000 shares and lost half your money, so like you're not gonna listen to me anyways. But you know, if you sold your Tesla shares and you're looking to get back in because you do believe in the company, I just don't see it being time yet. I mean, you could enter a starter position right here. Like, you know, say that you have $10,000 you want to put into it. Maybe you put $1,000 in right now if you just can't wait. And if it drops under, you just hold it and you wait for it to get down to maybe here or back down to here, and then you enter another maybe 2,000 and you just DCA, dollar cost average, into it. But I wouldn't be investing in Tesla right here, that's for sure. I like Shark Ninja. Look at the beast known as Shark Ninja, or as I call it in my head, Sharknado, because it's SN. So this is Shark vacuum cleaners, Ninja, blenders. I have like 5 Ninja products in my house. Ninja is like, oh my God, like this is the best appliance brand in my opinion. And dude, I can't even draw a fan. Like we haven't even reached a top yet. It just keeps rolling higher. And it's pretty new stock. That's the other thing. So let me take a look at the daily. Yeah, the daily looks super strong, you guys. Look at this. Everything's in place. You got Tenkinson. This is a beautiful entry if you want to day trade this thing. Like you're close to Tenkinson. It confirmed it like 3 times. You're over Kijinsen. You know, you're not too far off from this Fibonacci level right here. Now we have had a double top. So, you know, maybe a starter position, and then if it, you know, closes over this number, then, you know, maybe you're good to go. But I like what I'm seeing on this chart. I'm holding. Let's see if I can find any like Fibonacci fans to do here. No, not bullish enough. How about this? Maybe that's accurate. Let's move back. Let's go to, oh, here we go. This should do the trick. Let's see what that looks like. We're gonna need a bigger fan. So when you gotta do this stuff, like, that's a strong stop. Ah, here we go. I think I like the way this looks. Okay, so this is the channel we're in right now. Here's our support. Here's our goal. And yeah, dude, $92 is on the table. If we can get up over here and we look strong, I mean, and if this chart just keeps doing what this chart does ever since it opened, I mean, it's always crazy when something IPOs, it just, but then we found support right here at 37. And we just off to the races, man. How about this? Yeah, that's not a strong enough fan. Yeah, this thing just keeps on defying gravity. So I got my eye on Shark Ninja. I got a 1% allocation in my portfolio to this. It's, you know, it's a small company. It's not like, you know, I'm invested in Microsoft or something, but I like extra exposure to this because I understand the products. I like the products. I like the stock chart. You know what I'm saying? So things look good. Let's take a look at the MACD. MACD is slowing down, but it looks like it's trying to curl over and cross over. So let's go a little more granular into this one for the hell of it. Look at that. Ooh, it ended the day, crossed back over this is the 15-minute chart. And the cloud came back online. Tenkinson over Kijinsen. Chikuspan is overpriced. Yeah. You can do it, Shark Ninja. You can do it. What other stocks do we want to look at today, you guys? If you have a request, put it down below. I'm just checking my portfolio. We're looking at stocks that I own and that I like to keep track of. Netflix. All right. That is a buy according to Ichimoku right now, and we're on an uptrend. On the 15-minute chart, let's look at the daily. Daily looks excellent. These Fibonacci lines, by the way, like, dude, look at the next one up. $1,000. We're at under 700 right now. I'm going to go to the monthly real quick so I can draw some lines. Some of these trend lines, like if we ever achieve them, like Netflix could blow off the top, who knows, but let's see here, this up to here, let's do this. Look at that. You guys, look at this. Look at this, a candle. It came down, touched the fan, and now it's charging for 700. Like it wants it so bad. I want to see the RSI real quick. Okay, so when it hit 700 last time, the RSI was up here in the overbought territory. It might get back up there again when it crosses over. Oh, but look at this. The moving average was kind of like, at the time. Like, look at this. So it was just kind of like, it didn't have the strength to get over 700 right there. This, that's strong. So Netflix, like, I love me some Netflix right here. And, you know, this is a monthly. Let's just look at the weekly real quick. Multiple times it hit, look at that. Multiple weeks it came down, touched, and then moved forward. And right here there was a battle too. And then notice how when it closed under it, and then it got under here, that's probably where it dumped, is my guess. Let's take a look at the daily, because I bet you once it closed under 589, where's 589? Ooh, it gapped down, brutal. So it closed under, and then it just said see you later. But then it's just been cruising ever since. And on the daily, we got Tenkan over Kijinsen, good cloud, good Chiku span, good MACD. We're in the sort of overbought territory, but it might be ready for it. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But what I know is that even if it takes, let's look at a worst case scenario. I'm so bullish on Netflix. I love it. It's like one of the bigger positions in my portfolio. So here's 2025 or 2026 or no, 2025. Okay, so let's say that it takes 2 years to get to where I think it could go. There's 2026. Let's bring this stuff down. Okay, so let's say that it takes its sweet ass time. Let's say it drops, say you buy today and it drops and it takes 2 years to get to this next level. %46% in 2 years. That's 23% per year. That's better than the NASDAQ, way better than the S&P 500. So I love Netflix. I think that we see this 1016 before you know it, because just take a look at this chart. Look at where it's been. It has a full like meta recovery. I mean, look at this. It took 2 whole years to get back to where it needed to be. It's still not back to where it was peak 2021. Once we cross over that, see you later. I mean, I think the stock flies, and Netflix is not going anywhere. It's super profitable. It's what some call a compounding machine. I love it. What else is a compounding machine? Into it. Intuit. Love me some Intuit. Oh, I was looking at this with the... let's get this time series out of here, because we don't need to see that right now. Okay. 61.8% level. Have support there. And it closed over 78.6. I love to see that. I love to see that. Where are we going from here? Am I bullish on this? This is a monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly. So we got Tenkan-sen at Kijun-sen. We got Chico span just over price. Cloud looks strong. What is this? Oh, this is a Fibonacci fan right here. So it... Where's that drawn from? It's not a Fibonacci fan. Okay, let's get rid of this. Well, yeah, that's... Yeah, I don't love that. Let's remove that. So, this Fibonacci fan, I don't think it has... It does. Huh. This chart's a little harder to read. However, I'm seeing a big cup and handle forming. If we can get confirmation over this 716, I think we're off to the races with Intuit. I love Intuit. It's you know, it's not going anywhere. TurboTax, Credit Karma, you know, it's not going anywhere. And it's a super grower. I mean, look at what it does. Do we got time for one more? Let's do one more. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Let's do PayPal. Let's do PayPal. PayPal, look at, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Look at $310 it was at one point. And then it just died. It just absolutely died. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, but I know this, their revenue has gone up, their earnings have gone up, the fundamentals have gotten better. And today you have an opportunity to buy all the way down here. And I mean, when was the last time that you had a chance to buy at $60? It was 2017. I mean, I don't think PayPal's going anywhere. So, you know, keep in mind, if you take my advice or you do what I do and you lose all your money, you can't sue me, because this is not financial advice, but the ravings of a self-educated financial analyst. Okay, look at this. We drew some Fibonacci lines, because this is bottom. This is top. And look, we're sitting right at that Fibonacci line. Now we're in the cloud. Things look ugly as hell on the weekly. It looks ugly as hell on pretty much everything. But I like that it's holding support there. I like that we got $60 support. I like that we got $59.90, you know, or $60 Fibonacci line. This is what's called confluence. And look at this, you guys. On the weekly, son of a bitch, it closed right above the cloud. I'm looking for a bounce on this one. Now, my dollar cost average is like $67, so like, you know, I'm holding a bag on this bad boy. But I think what we're seeing here is maybe this is its new channel. Really what we're waiting for on this, in my opinion, you know, there's a lot of bear cases on this, but if you look at SOFI, banks, if you look at Square, if you look at Firm, you know, like all these other ones, they have a similar chart. I think Robinhood too, because interest rates went up. And every time, like, you see this, you know, like right here, it started to come up because inflation was starting to get tamed. And then at the beginning of the year, they were saying, well, maybe we can lower interest rates. And so people started to get excited on this stock again. And it's been, you know, conservatively bullish and in a kind of a uptrend holding pattern, waiting for that interest rate announcement. And I think that is when you're going to see this thing take off. So is PayPal ready for the trade, like, is it ready for its moment? No. And I don't think that we're going to get interest rate decreases in July. I hope we do. I think we should, but I don't think we do get it. But I do think we get it in September. So I bet you that we hit bottom. It's going to move up, and then maybe July you might see a bit of a slump, but I don't think anybody's really expecting rate cuts in July. So you might see it slowly start to eke up until the expectation September. And this thing is rate sensitive, it's inflation sensitive. If you get a hot inflation report, you might see it come down again. So buyer beware is all I'm going to say. However, the upside is astronomical, you guys. I mean, if this thing can get back up over 100, which it's destined to happen, it might take a couple years, but 100, 170, this 117, 120, that's like a double up from right here. 100% return. It could take 10 years and you'd still be performing with the S&P 500. You know what I mean? You might spend some time holding the bag on this thing, but if you have patience, I think it pays off. So yeah, I like PayPal. It's in the dumps right now, but it's not quite in the dumps like SOFI is. Let's take a look at SOFI. Same situation. Everyone was so excited for it, and then interest rates, inflation, all that good stuff, and it just pushed it down. I'm gonna clear these drawings and draw some Fibonacci's. Let's take a fresh look at SOFI real quick. All right, so first off, let's do an extension. Here's the high. Here's the low. I'm going to turn these gold. And then let's do a fan. Oof, maybe not that one. Maybe that one. Nope. None of these fans are working, you guys. That's usually a bad sign. What about over here? What if I did this? Yeah, not looking good. There's no fans that are working. So there's no trend line. It's trending down is what's happening. Yeah, things look pretty dire for SOFI at the moment. Let me just take a look at what I can see. I'm going to put a 200-day average on here, see if, oh, there is a 200-day average and it's under it. This is ugly. Ugly. Yeah, we've broken support. I mean, next support, I think, it's $6. $6 is next support. I mean, I just don't see it not touching $6 at this point. From there, you could see it hold between $6 and $7. So, if you're interested in SOFI, and this, if you're not familiar, they're a new bank. They don't have a lot of overhead. They're kind of like a fintech as well. They have, they're right now they're being valued as if they're a bank, and most of their money's coming from their bank. However, the thesis on this is that they're growing. They just became profitable. They have a service that other banks use, and they don't have the same costs associated with other banks, brick and mortar locations, that kind of thing. So eventually, one day, this stock will get its flowers, and Wall Street will pile into it. And who knows? We might see it, even if we just see it return to all-time highs. That was $24. So if you buy it at $6, what is that? That's an even number, but I can't think of it. 6. 4x your money. If it gets back to its highs. So high risk, high reward. I would, I'm personally allocating only, 1% of my portfolio to this. And if I'm lucky, maybe it'll become 3 or 4% of my portfolio one day, and I'll have outsized returns on a small investment. And if I lose, if 0.5% of my account, it's going to be a drop in the water. You know, it's not going to affect my retirement plans. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like SOFI. I'm holding on to it. I got the diamond hands of this one. Speaking of diamond hands, let's end it with GameStop. This thing is just what a silly chart. What an absolutely silly chart. Let's look at the daily. Well, it's holding at 23.55. What's the low? 22.72. I mean, it's holding there, and it's been holding there. And you have the Tenkinson and Kijinson coming down, because like the problem with these moving averages is that the crazy whips up and down, like it just throws them out of whack. Notice when it comes down, oh, finds support, it pops, and it falls under. They start to move down, it gets up over it, or it thinks about getting up over it, and it pops. Problem is, now you got the cloud overhead. So it's going to hit extra resistance. If you're buying here trying to, like, you know, I would sell at 33, you know, buy it right here, set your stop loss for like under the 200 moving average, so like $19. Well, what is that risk reward? Let's take a look. Is it worth it to play the casino game one last time with GameStop? Because God knows I've lost a lot of money with it. Okay, $20. Let's say it gets down to, you know, you set your stop loss to like 19 just because it could whip down there before moving higher. That's a 17% loss. Frickin' yikes. But what do you have to gain? 45%. So, you know, that's up to you. 17, 45. That's a 2.6 risk return ratio. So you could be right about this 1 and 3 times, 1 and 2 times. Actually, 1 and 3 times, and still come out with money. Somewhere in between 2 and 3. All right, that's my analysis. You know, I hope you enjoyed this. You know, if I didn't cover one of the stocks that you wanted to look at, let me know what stock you'd like me to look at. I'd like to do this more, do a little weekend review. Oh, you know what? Gotta look at the QQQ. You know, this thing basically moves like the SPY, just a little stronger. $480. Yeah, about 480 is support right here. Next level of support is going to be 474. I would not be surprised if we see a consolidation in this range and a move higher. And what I like about these big consolidations, look at this big consolidation right here. And then we moved higher. And this isn't going to be a consolidation like this. It's just not. Like, look at this, you know, say you bought here and you had to hold on and you saw your shit drop 4%. You just held, you know, you'd be up 5%. So, in a matter of what, a month? The market is roaring. All right, you guys, I'm going to call it right there, try to keep this under an hour. Thank you so much. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please hit subscribe, give me the like, it helps me with the algorithm. And if you have any requests, things that you'd like me to look at, just let me know. I'll talk to you guys later. Good luck trading.